All right, we're going to call the meeting of the Finance Committee to order on November 16th, 2022. Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Moran. Alderwoman Timmons.
Here.
Alderman Clemmons.
Here.
Alderman GOV.
Here.
Alderman Camo is here. Alderman Clee.
Here.
And Mayor Donches.
Here. Obviously, you have a quorum. Public comment is the first item on the agenda. Is there any member of the public who wishes to speak to the Finance Committee? All right, it doesn't appear to be anyone, so we will go to communications. First communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Camo.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the continuation of the Remote Application Management Support Services Agreement with Clear Sky in the amount of $270,000, which is $90,000 per year, $7,500 per month, for a 36-month period starting July 1, 2022. Funding will be through Department 122 Information Technology, Fund 54428, Technology Operations / General Fund.
Mr. Misevich.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Nick Misevich, Chief Information Officer. This contract helps support the Lawson environment. This company installs all the necessary patches, helps us with support of the product, and provides some minor programming assistance as needed. They are the ones that built the environment from scratch when we converted from the Unix environment that was hosted offsite a number of years ago. Ms. Gerard brought to my attention that last year it was only brought in as a single-year contract, so that's why we are here now to make it a multi-year contract.
All right. Questions, comments? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Camo.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of biodiesel fuel using the New Hampshire state contract with Sprague Operating Resources in an amount not to exceed $100,580. Funding will be through Department 186 Transit, Fund 61307, Diesel Fuel / General Fund.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the committee. Matt Sullivan, Community Development Division Director. As you can see in front of you, this is a not to exceed $100,580 contract for the use of biodiesel within 7 vehicles within the Nashua Transit System fleet. You'll see that the gallon usage is from 15,000 to 20,000 gallons within the FY23 fiscal year. Just I would note one item here, and that is that we've elected to use the state bid price for this iteration or this fiscal year for pricing. Particularly, this was done to, at least as an attempt to avoid volatility in market pricing that we anticipated going to a traditional bid process. Obviously, it's clear within the special purchasing procedures we are permitted to use a state bid contract, but this is an alternative approach from what we've done in the past. However, we are comfortable that the amount not to exceed budgeted here will be adequate for the use of our vehicles in the FY 2023 year. Thank you.
Anyone?
I have a question.
Alderwoman Timmons.
Thank you, Mayor. Director Sullivan, I do have a question. I don't know the difference between biodiesel and regular diesel, and what's the cost difference?
That's a great question. So the cost difference is, it's I wouldn't say it's substantial. I actually don't know the current diesel rate off the top of my head, but essentially the origins of biodiesel are a more bio-friendly product than your traditional diesel fuel that's being used. And so when we look at our fleet, this is considered a more clean burning and less environmentally impactful fuel. But I can't speak at this point to the differential between the diesel rate currently and what's proposed within the current contract. I would just note for the record as a response to your question, though, that with the state bid contract, this is a fluctuating rate that goes along with it, and so it's a bit more volatile in that sense. And so really, on a day-to-day basis, the differential between the diesel rate and the biodiesel may be a bit different under the proposed contract here.
Alderwoman Clee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just quick question. I know that we have some of the CSG, am I saying it properly?
CNG.
CNG.
Yep.
How many do we have those? Here it says that we were running 7 off of biodiesel, but
That's
how many?
correct. The 7 biodiesel that are referred to here are some of our larger fleet vehicles. We do have several vehicles running on CNG as well. We obviously have DPW vehicles running on CNG. I was here a few months ago, if I recall correctly, presenting the CNG contract. I can't say over the total fleet in the city how many CNG vehicles we have, but we do have several within the transit system that we currently use.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Can I have a follow-up?
Yeah. Of course.
Thank you. I have just one question. How long have you been using the biodiesel?
Mr. Mayor, if I went, that's a great question. And actually, I can't answer that question for you. I believe these fleet purchases were made several years ago, but I can't recall whether that was approximately 3 to 4 to 5 years ago. But I'd be happy to follow up with an answer to that question.
All right, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Camo.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve and award the sole source request for the purchase of police and fire portable radios along with accessories to Motorola Solutions Incorporated in the amount of $3,499,998. Funding will be through Department 157, Citywide Communication, Fund 81300, Machinery and Equipment / Capital Project Fund, Radio Communications Upgrade.
Mr. Mansfield?
Good evening. Bill Mansfield. I'm the radio services manager for the city. We manage all radio communications with police, fire, and anybody who pretty much has a radio within the city. We're responsible for those. Here this evening to look to award a contract for about $3.5 million to Motorola Incorporated for the purchase of specifically fire and police radios. There was a bond approved in June of this year to cover the cost of this replacement. Just as a refresher to some of you, these radios have been in service for almost 10 years. The radios are getting old, they're breaking. A lot of the radios are non-repairable at this point, especially the fire radios, because they can't get the proper seal necessary for to become intrinsically safe. And that's what this purchase is this evening. We're looking at purchasing 171 radios for the fire department. We're looking at replacing 186 radios for the police department. The cost of the radios with this contract, we started negotiations on this in September, and we're finally to the point of coming before you today. We were able to get the price reduced by over $1 million through the negotiations. Each individual radio costs just under $8,000. That's an average between police and fire. Fire radios are a little more expensive because of what's in them. Included in the purchase is also charges for each individual, holders. There's bank charges for fire hoses in different areas of the police department, speaker microphones that are compatible with the new radios. We're also upgrading and purchasing a server to be able to pass encryption over the air to the radios that are out there and change the encryption keys on a regular basis. Also, we're adding additional safety software to both police and fire. On the police side, it's going to be location services, where if an officer pushes the talk or activates his panic button, it can come up on a map and we know exactly where he was. On the fire side, it's accountability software that's in these radios. When the firefighters are at a scene of a fire, every 20 minutes, they have to go through a roll call, and that takes a lot of time to wait for every person to answer, especially at a large fire scene. This software sends a tone out to the firefighter. That firefighter then clicks his microphone and basically says he's okay. It's within a split second that happens. It's a big safety issue for fire on the fire side. So this is a sole source purchase. We requested to be sole source because none of the other manufacturers offer, especially the accountability software that is out there today. They also don't offer the over-the-air programming of encryption for the radios either. So, are there any questions that anybody has?
When do you expect delivery?
Knowing Motorola, the radios will be on our doorstep probably on December 31st. It will take months to unpackage, inventory, engrave, and set up templates for each of these different radios. We're looking at probably June of next year for deployment and training for all firefighters and police officers. All the training will be done by myself and the other gentleman that works with me in the communications division. So.
And what, remind us what the useful life of the radios is likely to be?
The way it's going today, we're looking at approximately 7 to 8 years for useful life of radios because of the technology that's out there.
Questions, comments?
I did want to, if I could.
Go ahead.
I did want to say that the radios that we're removing from the line with police and fire are now going to be recycled and pushed down to 8 departments within the city, the Public Works Department, School Department, and they're going to be able to utilize these radios. If they break and we can't get them repaired, then we will have plenty of spares to give them in the future. So.
Alderwoman Clee.
Thank you. You did answer one of my questions. I was going to ask if we got a rebate from the old ones or if we were going to be using them elsewhere. So thank you for that. The other thing is more of a comment. I appreciate the signal for fire, that we know that they're safe just by the pressing of the button. But the other question is, if for some reason they can't press a button, they need to make a call. Is there another way of them doing it? Is it voice activated so they can respond in some way, or no?
So they're on the firefighters' radios. You have the push to talk on the speaker microphone, which is usually up here,
Right.
Probably right underneath the jacket. They also have the radio on their hip that has a push to talk. On the fire, other than the push to talk, they also have an emergency button on both the portable radio and the speaker microphone itself. So we hope that they can get to one of those items.
Thank you.
All right, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time.
Next, communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Camo.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the NPD HVAC project change order number 4 to Turnstone Corporation in the amount of $30,011.86. Funding will be through Department 150, Police Department, Fund 81200, Buildings and Improvements.
Captain?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the committee. I'm Captain Rob Page, head of the Services Bureau, and I'm here tonight to speak to the HVAC project change order number 4. We are not looking for additional money for this. This money will be paid for within the current bond. There are 6 changes specifically under this change order, 2 of which were credits for work that did not need to be completed. And just as for everybody's information, as far as this bond is also covering our locker project, which is just got underway today, and there is still money within the bond to pay for any changes in the locker project. Thank you.
When do you think the HVAC project will be totally done?
So at this point, it's about 99% done. All the work that was originally in the plans has been done. At this point, we are waiting on a couple parts that came damaged. That is all covered. But unfortunately, there is such a back order for all these parts. We are literally just waiting for a couple parts to come in so they can fix what we have. However, the system is 99% effective and working great.
Good.
I have one question.
Alderwoman Timmons.
Thank you, Mayor. So the building is completely open now? I know at one point, you couldn't go through this area that way. You can do all of that now.
Correct, yes. There's some equipment that's left in a couple of the mechanical rooms. However, the department's open again, yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Unfinished business, we have none tabled in committee. We have a communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. First, I think there should be a motion to remove from the table. Alderman Camo.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to remove from the table a communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, relative to the snow removal in the amount not to exceed $45,000 funded from 54207 Snow Plowing Services / General Fund.
All right, all those in favor of the motion to remove from the table, say aye.
Aye.
The item is now before us. Alderman Camone.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to make the motion to place on file and approve the contract for snow plowing and optional sand and salt treatment and snow removal services for 18 parking lots under the responsibility of the Parking Department to Doty Group Incorporated of Hollis, New Hampshire, in an amount not to exceed $45,000. Funding will be through Department 166 Parking, Fund 54207, Snow Plowing Services / General Fund.
Ms. Stansfield, have you been here before?
Yes,
Okay, so everybody knows you?
I believe so.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Good evening, Jill Stansfield, Parking Manager. This is an extension for a contract that was passed last year for snow removal in our 18 parking lots downtown. The contractor has held his pricing, so under the original contract, we had it in the contract that we could do one-year extensions as long as pricing didn't change. So again, this is for our 18 downtown parking lots, snow removal, snow plowing, the city removes, but the contract does actually also, in the event the city's inundated with snow removal, there is a provision in there that we could actually hire them to also help with snow removal as well.
Okay. Questions? Alderman Gouveia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Looking over the contract here, under the parking lot snow removal priority list, I was looking at the different lots that this covers. In 14, the School Street lot, that's not a lot anymore, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So would that change the pricing at all of what the plowing is done now that we're subtracting a lot from that list of 18, the 17?
Nope, that would not change the price. It's an hourly price rate.
Gotcha. Okay.
Alderman Cleve.
Thank you. To the school, the School Street lot, I keep seeing this large building going up, but I know that there's parking underneath. Is there any kind of maintenance that we have to do for that as far as like any snow? I don't know if it's not an underground thing, it's just a below, correct? So is there snow removal within there at all, or no?
So we should not have to do any snow removal inside, hopefully, because it's
Okay,
gonna,
that's what I'm saying.
it's
So
gonna
it
be
is a below-
enclosed.
Yeah, it is enclosed, okay.
Yes,
That's what
yeah.
I wanted to,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure of it. I keep looking at the big building and forgetting to look down. So, thank you.
All right, anyone else? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
New business resolutions and/or ordinances, we have none. Record of expenditures, Alderman Camone.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to make a motion that the Finance Committee has complied with the city charter and ordinances pertaining to the record of expenditures for the period from October 28th, 2022 to November 10th, 2022.
Anyone? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. General discussion? Public comment. Any member of the public wish to address the committee? All right, remarks by Alderman. Alderwoman Timmons.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say that the June Karen Senior Luncheon was a success. It was fun. It was great to see all the seniors out having a good time. It was just a wonderful event, and the fact that seniors normally get overlooked. And this time they were out there and they were happy. It just was a great event, and I'm glad I went, and everyone said they would go again next year, but I think we need to really thank our seniors for everything that they do. And I wish you guys was there. You might have felt a little out of place because you're so young, but it was really, really nice. But I'm sure that they would have been glad to see you guys there. So it was just a very nice event, and they gave away a lot of prizes. A lot of prizes, what made them even happier. So thank you, the city, for putting this on for us older folks that we sometimes feel overlooked.
Great. Alderwoman Clee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Alderwoman Timmons. I do meet the age category, so the rest of them may be too young, but not me.
You don't look it.
Oh, thank you. Trust me, I'll be 62 next week, Black Friday. Anyways, this weekend, I felt privileged enough to attend the welcoming city certification ceremony that we had over at the Adult Learning Center. And I know that Alderman Thebo made the comment, some people keep thinking welcoming city is the same as sanctuary city, and it is not. So for the general public, it's completely different. It just means that we have resources and so on that make people feel welcome, whether it's language type of programs and so on. So I will leave it at that, but it's a privilege. And I'd like to thank Ms. Ibera for, Celia, for all the work that she did, for get us beyond just saying, this is a piece of paper, to actually having the audits done and be certified by this group of individuals. And she worked hard on it beyond, as she started as COVID hit, and then had to restart all over again. And all those people that interviewed and so on, thank you very much for doing that. And I'd also like to send my condolences to the Melbourne family, Alderman, the Moran family, I apologize. Alderman Moran, father-in-law, passed away, and that's why he's not here today. So condolences to them. I know it's hard to lose a parent, so thank you.
Any other remarks? If not, Alderman Camo. Oh, excuse me, sorry. I just broke
Totally
protocol.
threw me off guard there.
I broke protocol, I'm sorry. Alderwoman Clee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, I'd like to motion to adjourn.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting of the Finance Committee is adjourned at 7:22 PM.